Hello and welcome to the sports recap section of the Loyola podcast. I'm your host, Mateo, and I'm here with my co-hosts,
Anthony Stefanelli.
And Andrei Lopez.
and we're going to talk about the NFL playoffs. So, boys, did you watch the games? How do you feel?
Yeah, I watched pretty much all of them, and I can say that all of these games were fantastic, honestly. They were all entertaining. I think basically all of them were one-score games except the Steelers and the Texans. So,
Yeah, the last two games, the Chargers game, the Steelers game,
yeah.
those kind of broke the trend, but the first four games were won by 4 points or less, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was actually watching it with Anthony in his garage. It was crazy, bro. The only one that wasn't that entertaining was definitely the Chargers game. Patriots put a defensive masterclass with the 6 sacks on Justin Herbert, but let's start off with the Rams versus Panthers. Mateo, you have any opinions?
Yeah, I think like we have to shout out the Panthers, man. Like going into this game, nobody expected them to do anything. And the fact that they were winning with 2 minutes left is really impressive. I mean, look, they're a losing record team in the playoffs going up against the Rams, probably the Super Bowl favorites. I know everyone in LA is pulling for them. This was a great game from the Panthers and a little bit scary for the Rams. I mean, if we want LA in the Super Bowl, they have to play better than this. But Matthew Stafford, the last quarter of the game, came in clutch. And yeah, I mean, I think this is a moral win for the Panthers, if I'm being honest.
Honestly, as a franchise, though, this is a huge comeback, especially after seeing Bryce Young's failures, being drafted early on, out of Alabama, only a 5'10" quarterback in the NFL. He was struggling, and, you could write some really great comeback narratives about this Panthers franchise, but, all of their sides of the ball came together and had a great performance against a really great Rams squad.
And I wanna shout out the coaching because that play call, it was a dagger concept on, I think it was a third and long, and Bryce Young threw the dig route to Ted McMillan over the middle to take the lead. I really thought for a second the Panthers were gonna win that, but once again, like Mateo said, you have to shout out Matthew Stafford, and I think this game really cemented his MVP.
Yeah, personally, I would definitely vote for him for the MVP. I mean, he didn't have a great start, but he finished strong. We can take a look at his stats. Obviously, this doesn't tell the full story, but 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 pick. It was a costly pick, but no, he played a great game. I mean, I think the Rams can go all the way, but this isn't a great sign struggling against the Panthers. But then you got to shout out the Panthers, and they took back their division. Saints look good, Buccaneers look good, but I don't really see them losing the next season.
Yeah, they have to improve a little bit, but I think the NFC South is really wide open for them. Let's move on to the next game.
Well, this was probably the best game. I mean, I don't think that's a hot take.
No, definitely. This game was super entertaining, and to be honest, everyone thought it was over at halftime.
Yeah, I personally thought it was over at halftime. I almost turned it off.
Jordan Love put up some generational numbers here with 4 touchdowns, 323 yards, and he went 24 for 46, around 50% completion rate.
But the numbers look good, but I thought Jordan Love towards the second half played pretty poorly.
Yeah, I was going to say these numbers don't really tell the full story. Like, first half, he's balling out. Josh Jacobs had like 50 yards in the first half. He ended with 55 yards.
Some of the Bears shut the run game down.
The Bears defense, which has been questionable all season. I mean, they get a lot of takeaways, but yeah, I mean, look at the Niners game not too long ago. They allowed 42 points. They really showed up. And I think everyone's going to talk about Caleb Williams and the 4th and 8 throw, which we'll get to, which was incredible. But shout out the Bears defense.
Mateo, you also got to, applaud Shanahan's brilliance when it came to allowing those 42 points. Like, that's not purely on how bad the Bears are. So I think the Bears, you could argue for them at least having an average defense. That just says how great the 49ers offense is, really.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and we'll get to that, but I don't know. The fact that they ended with 27 points and they started the half with 21 points, like that's a defensive masterclass, objectively. And
I think this game, I don't know about you guys. I used to think LaFleur was a really good coach, and I still do, but I think this game's started to put him on the hot seat a little bit.
I agree. I was about to say the same thing. Like, how many more years of first round exits or not getting to the championship game can the Packers take with LaFleur?
And to be fair, though, they lost Micah Parsons, and I don't think they won a game without Micah Parsons. Interesting. interestingly enough. So,
I mean,
let's
he's a great player.
about
It's
to
understandable.
see next year.
Yeah. I want to talk about Caleb Williams.
Hold
for a
up.
little
Didn't
bit.
they also lose that really good running back? I forgot. I think Adams.
What?
They lost a really good running back too, didn't they?
The Packers?
Yeah, the
Josh
Packers.
Jacobs,
Josh Jacobs
Yeah,
is
Josh
healthy.
Jacobs. Jacques.
he missed like 2 games, but
Oh,
with a knee injury, but he's straight.
Yeah, he's back now. Is that okay? Anyway, I want to shout out Caleb Williams. Um, yeah, what an interesting game. 50% completion percentage, 2 interceptions, 71 passer rating.
But when you had to have it though, he showed up and he found Colston Loveland early and often, and I think he had 137 yards, and honestly, he was open for he had a couple more he had a couple more open plays where he could have gotten maybe 40 more yards, but overall, like you said, Mateo, do you want to touch on that 4th and 8 throw? I think because I really think that encapsulates how the Bears were able to.
I mean, that 4th and 8 throw was outstanding. You know, rolling to his left, throwing it like at least 15 yards down the field in the face of the Packers defense. Like for a game for a quarterback who is 24 years old in his second year with a 50% completion percentage to show up like that. I don't know. Caleb Williams reminds me of a young Josh Allen, and we're gonna get to him soon. But if he can replicate the success of Josh Allen with that Bears team, with DJ Moore, with DeAndre Swift, with Colson Loveland, especially Colson Loveland, who's young,
I'm
the
excited
Bear
about Luther Burden too.
Luther Burden,
Kid's
the
good.
Bears could be a contender for some years to come.
Yeah, and like you said, I really like that comp to Josh Allen because the flashes are obviously there. He just has to work on consistency and hitting throws while he has his feet set. It's funny. He's almost more accurate on the run.
yeah, but how do you guys think that this Packers franchise right now, especially with this, sorry, sorry, how do you guys think this Bears franchise is gonna develop a great early round draft pick like Romo Dunze into the player that he was in college?
I think he just needs some more time to work. I think he's already a pretty good receiver. I think they need to develop Luther Burden a little bit more, but they have a lot of talent and they're going to be good. Let's cover the Bills and Jaguars team now.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of Josh Allen, we've got his first ever road playoff win. I mean, did anybody think the Bills were going to lose this game? I know they weren't favorites. The Jaguars have been looking good, but I don't think this is a hot take. I mean, Josh Allen's the best quarterback that's left in the playoffs right now, arguably. I mean, Matthew Stafford's great, but especially in the AFC, he's definitely the most proven name. I feel like this was a must-win for the Bills, and they came out on top, but it wasn't without its challenges. The Jaguars' defense is real. It's good. They put up a good game.
Yeah, definitely have to respect the Jaguars and what they put out there today, and I think they're definitely gonna be contenders for the AFC South next year. I think the Texans are gonna have their hands full again, and the Jaguars are a problem. They're not going away.
I
But
mean, yeah, 100%.
Let's go over their stats though. Trevor Lawrence went 18 for 30 with 207 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He threw 2 picks and took a sack. He had an 86.4% passer rating, which is pretty solid, I'd say.
I think this was
Decent performance. I wouldn't say it was that great, but that was a decent performance,
Yeah.
especially with the 3 touchdowns.
it was okay. I think this was a rough game for Trevor, if we're being honest. Like off of a 9-game win streak, this was rough, and I think that was expected. You know, the Packers 9-game win streak was the Jaguars 9-game win streak wasn't against great teams. Trevor Lawrence was balling out in those games, but against the Jets, the Titans, these weren't great teams. And other than that insane comeback in his second year against the Chargers, all the way back then, Trevor is not necessarily the best guy in the playoffs.
Yeah, I hear like a lot of hype around this guy. I mean, just watching him on TV, like I was with Anthony, I'm like, what's all the hype behind Trevor Lawrence, man? But you know what?
see, I think
I'm not here to hate. I'm just saying.
I think you guys are giving it a little bit too much of a rough time. Obviously, he didn't play perfect, but he got his team in the right spots. And honestly, the stats look a little bit worse than he threw that pick late, but he had his team in the position to win. Josh Allen just came back on an incredibly clutch drive.
But the defense from the Jaguars also helped. Not only Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen with that sack that he took. When was it, in the third quarter? Or when? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars defense, especially early, they're playing well. They've got some good players. Talking like a little bit more about Trevor Lawrence. I mean, just about the whole franchise. Like we talked about the Panthers glow up. Guys, the Jaguars had the number 2 overall pick last year, and then they go and win the division.
And he didn't even play. He didn't even play this year.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't even play this year, the guy they drafted with the number 2 overall pick, and they still go and win the division in a division with the Colts, who at the start of the year, they were 7-1, and the Texans, who we'll get to soon, who look like a real threat. This is a great season for the Jaguars. With a rookie coach, this is a great season for the Jaguars. There's no shame in this game. But yeah, Josh Allen, 273 yards, 3 total touchdowns.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I don't think it tells the full story, though.
And I think that the Jaguars are only going up from this point, especially with Travis Hunter. We'll see whether he goes into corner or receiver, but I think this franchise has a bright future. They're kind of in that rebuilding era. But moving on to the next game, 49ers versus Eagles. Wow, big game. Some would even say an upset from the 49ers.
This game was interesting.
Yeah.
The Niners started off hot. Brock Purdy hit Demarcus Robinson for like on a sail route early in the game,
and we have to talk about the touchdown Juwan Jennings threw to Christian McCaffrey. Wow.
Niners went up early on the Eagles, and overall the game started fast, but then both offenses really started to fizzle out. I think Vic Fangio did a really good job limiting what Kyle Shanahan was trying to do, but overall Jalen Hurts and the Patullo offense it was not doing anything in the second.
But in the situation that they were in the playoffs, and this is where great coaching really shines through, and bad coaching also gets exposed. The 49ers offense creativity, it was crazy, man. When Shanahan drew up that flea flicker, it was like I was with Anthony, and his dad actually went crazy, like huge play.
I mean, I think we're starting to see like an evolution of the game. The quarterback is obviously the most important position, but we're seeing these really great teams with, I mean, decent quarterback play, but not like, the level of Tom Brady or Peyton
Real
Manning.
Quick, let's go over Brock Purdy's performance, because Mateo, I kind of agree with what Mateo's saying. Brock Purdy had I would say average performance, 2 touchdowns, 2 sacks, 80% passer rating, 2 interceptions, 1 sack. He went 18 for 31, but Mateo's right. Like with these new explosive offensive players like Christian McCaffrey are very versatile, and Juwan Jennings too. You can do a lot, especially when you have such a great coach like Kyle Shanahan. And it also helps that the 49ers have a great O-line that helps establish the run game, which also causes the pass game to go. And all of those factors together just make a great offensive team.
Yeah, I mean, Andrei, you kind of said it. Like, I mean, Brock Purdy throws 2 interceptions. One of them is really bad, but he manages the game and he keeps them in there, and the defense is good. I mean, you can win games without a star quarterback, which is something new in the NFL. I feel like I've been saying this for every single team when I'm watching the playoffs and I'm telling my dad about the teams. I'm like, yeah, this team's got a great defense. I feel like I've said that almost every single game, and I mean, defense wins championships, and these teams have good defenses. They've got great coaching. I don't know. I mean, are we seeing an evolution of the game where the quarterback is, I mean, I wouldn't say not the most important position, but not as important as before? I mean, I think we are.
I mean, I'd agree with you there, Mateo.
The game's really leaning towards a smash mouth football with an emphasis on the run game, where you don't need to pay your quarterback $50 million. You need a good run game, and you need a good defense, manage the clock, and prevent turnovers, and that's what the league's turning towards.
Yeah, and that's where important players like Jalen Carter shine through, that are able to stop that run defense, especially with his sack. And yeah, I think D linemen and linebackers are getting more respect and value. And the 49ers defense, like some of our weaknesses are being exposed, especially losing our greatest pass rusher Nick Bosa and a great run defender Fred Warner. But let's move on to the next game, Chargers versus Patriots. Kind of a boring game.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go through the next 2 games pretty quickly. Sorry to all our Chargers fans, but this game was abysmal. I mean, Justin Herbert, 6 sacks,
Couldn't do anything.
That's
159 yards, no touchdowns.
Overall, that stat line really tells the full tale. I think And if you watched the game, I think if you watched the last Chargers 2-minute drill where they were trying to score at least something before 2 minutes, I think it looked terrible. The Patriots were just dropping back in cover four the entire time, and and Justin Herbert was just throwing checkdowns over the middle, wasting more clock, and they didn't even score at the end. So
Yeah, Keenan Allen wasn't producing, but
Yeah,
got to shout out the Patriots defense as well. Really holding down, nailing the Chargers down there with the 6 sack.
yeah. I mean, look, the Patriots defense is great, but like the Chargers O line is just. Let's for all our Chargers fans, let's pray for a healthy O line next year. That's all I can say.
And unfortunately, yeah, especially losing Joe Alt hurt them a lot. But I mean, it was more or less, I would say less, but it was kind of the same story on the Patriots side of the ball with Drake May taking 5 sacks for the young quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Chargers defense is solid. The Patriots, we were expecting big things. I don't think they showed up massively today. I mean, of course, they can still go all the way. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. For any Patriots fans, let's see how you do next week against the Texans. That's
Yeah,
all I'm gonna say.
Will Campbell struggling a lot, especially against that great pass rushing duo they have with Will Anderson. I forgot the other edge rusher, but Texans have a solid defense, especially with that D'Amico Ryan's defensive coordinator. He was once the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, and that kind of contributed to our glory in the past. But we'll move on to the next game, Texans versus Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, Andre, you already kind of started talking about it a little bit with that defensive line.
but basically, this is very similar to the other game, except the Steelers kind of played the role of the Chargers in this game, and it was close early. And the Steelers defense, or maybe I should say C.J. Stroud, gave the Steelers a chance to stay in this game. It was 7-6 at halftime, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he was just
Yeah, bro.
couldn't do anything.
Unc gotta hang up the
I
beats. I'm not gonna lie.
don't think you can blame Aaron Rodgers. I think he didn't really. I mean, DK Metcalf is far and away their best receiver, and he still wasn't really able to produce anything. And
50% passer rating.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how many targets. What's his name? Kenny. Did we cut this? What's the running back's name?
Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, I don't know how many targets Kenneth Gainwell had, but
He hit 6 targets.
yeah,
Six targets.
he was. It felt like he was their main receiver. That's how poor their offense looked.
Yeah, I mean, this Texans team is scary. I mean, we're gonna wrap this segment up with predictions, but
Yeah, but no, Mateo really said it. I'm scared for the future teams, especially with D'Amico Ryan's there. And since we're talking about coaching, I mean, Mike Tomlin resigning. Like, what do you guys think? That's huge. Like, this Steelers franchise has been relying on, and I know a lot of jokes on Twitter, Instagram might say, "Oh, Mike Tomlin has led them to 9-8 season," but you know. That consistency, that excellence is kind of what cements the Steelers as the gritty team that they are, with the competitive fan base, competitive team. I've always respected them, especially Mike Tomlin, but 9-8, fans nowadays won't settle for mediocrity. What do you guys think about Mike Tomlin resigning?
I think they just needed a reset. I think Mike Tomlin, he coaches a brand of football that's very outdated in my opinion, and I think they need a refresher. They need to maybe even have a couple of bad years so that they can actually get some draft picks, because going 10-7, 9-8, like you said, and being a first round exit.
Yeah, they have low draft capital. That's
It's
definitely
just not helping them improve as a team. They're really getting stuck in football purgatory. But I think a reset would be really good for this team. And shout out Mike Tomlin for understanding.
Yeah, hopefully a guy like like a guy as great as Kyle Shanahan can come and have the honor of coaching this gritty franchise with a nice culture. But
or other coaches.
yeah, any other
Big Kyle Shanahan fan.
No, I'm saying a coach like Kyle Shanahan.
No, that's
I want Kyle Shanahan to stay with my 49ers, but I think Niners are a threat, but let's go over score predictions for college football. It was an exciting week for NFL, except for the last 2 games, kind of blowout losses, but
yeah, I mean, we can quickly touch on college football. Indiana.
For the championship game, I think do you all want to go through score predictions?
Yeah, we can. I mean, really quickly, Indiana destroyed Oregon. Miami versus Ole Miss, great game. Miami won. I'll kick it off. I can't see Indiana losing this game. I'm gonna go 45-10 Indiana.
I'm gonna go. Let me think. Probably like 35-7. You know, Fernando Mendoza with those explosive, dynamic touchdowns.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 41-10 Indiana. It's not gonna be close.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, we can quickly touch on the remaining playoff games. So Rams going to Chicago. How are we feeling? What do we think?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be closer than people think. I think the Rams are they're gonna be heavy favorites, and even though they're going to Chicago, but I think the Rams might get up early, but I think the Bears are gonna inch back, but I still don't think they're gonna be able to get it done because uh with Jordan Love struggling, they were able to afford a couple of mistakes, but I think Matthew Stafford's going to be on one. So I'm going to take the Rams to beat the Bears 31-21.
Yeah, that's gonna be a competitive game for sure. You know, I think Puka's gonna put up some great numbers. You know, and Matt Stafford definitely will perform, but we'll see. You know, Caleb Williams, that Bears defense might hold him up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Anthony here. I mean, my score prediction would be basically the same. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think the Rams are going to the championship game. All right, Bills at the number 1 seed Broncos, maybe the worst number 1 seed ever. Is that a crazy take?
Not at all. I think the Bills have a really good shot this game. I think
You got to respect that Broncos O-line, man. Their defense is solid, you know, with that depth in the second.
I mean, yeah, they're the number 1 seed for a reason. They're still good.
They still got Pat Surtain, right?
Yeah, they do. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
that
a great team.
secondary is solid, you know. Worst number 1 seed of all time. I don't know, man. Maybe
I think
Seahawks. No, I'm just rage baiting with that.
jokes aside, I think this game is really important for Josh Allen's career and this season in general.
He has to prove himself.
I don't think he has to prove himself. I think this is his year to really his it feels like his one chance to win a ring. So if he wins this game to advance the championship, I think actually he might even have a shot to oh no, he wouldn't have a shot to have a home playoff game, but he'd be on the road the whole way. But there's still I think if he wins this game, it's going to be a really good chance that he makes the Super Bowl and that he could win the first ring for the city of Buffalo.
I think you're right, and I think I'm going to take the Bills win. I'm going to contradict myself here. I'm going to say that quarterback play still matters. Give me Josh Allen for Bo Nix.
And that's where Josh Allen's excellence is really going to shine through, yeah. And then for the NFC.
All right, well, obviously we have
Seahawks.
Niners.
Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm saying for sure this is the Super Bowl of the season. I mean, this game is going to be huge. Huge, you know, that number 1 seed.
I think it's going to be a little anticlimactic. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game with the Seahawks are going to control the clock, run the ball, and I think
Niners are going to do the same thing on offense, yeah.
I think the Niners are just not going to be explosive at all without George Kittle.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a pretty boring game.
Oh, yeah.
Seahawks 24.
Yeah, we didn't go over the
I'm going to take
George
Seahawks
Kittle injury.
17-10, but I agree with Anthony. I mean, we've already seen this game pretty recently. It was 13-3. Like,
yeah, and that was
Niners just got nothing going, and I can't see a difference.
Nah, man, I got my Niners, you know, upsetting this mediocre Seahawks roster.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, like probably 21-17. It's gonna be a close game, though. I respect the Seahawks. You know?
All right, yeah, fair enough. I mean, we'll check in next week, see who's right. Lastly, we've got
the Patriots and the Texans.
Yeah, that's the last game to cover.
And
I'm taking the Texans.
I really don't know with this one. I think
I'm taking Texans. Yeah, Texans.
I'm gonna just to go against you guys. I'll take the Patriots. I think the Patriots. I think they're better than people give them credit for just because they're scheduled, but obviously, and I really don't think the Texans' offense is just good at all. But we'll see. I'm gonna take the Patriots.
I think Drake May is definitely gonna fold under the pressure though of playing a great defense. But yeah, I don't think Texas's offense is necessarily Super Bowl caliber, but their defense. Wow.
I mean, yeah, I agree with Andrei there. Well, luckily we all had some different picks, so we'll check in with you guys next week, see who's got the most right. And thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you soon.